But those type of women are bad for black men because black men don't like women like that. They're out of control. They're, they feel that they're better than the men. And so a lot of black men don't know how to deal with women like that. What do you say?
Welcome back, everyone. Good to have you here. So today we are sitting with something that honestly caught me off guard the moment I started watching it. Reality TV star Tiffany Pard, widely known as New York from Flavor of Love and I Love New York, sits down with Jesse for what starts as a celebrity interview and turns into something much more layered than that. Jesse keeps pushing, keeps testing, and Tiffany keeps answering in ways that you genuinely do not expect. There is one moment in this conversation where Jesse makes a claim about strong black women that I think a lot of people need to hear Tiffany respond to. Make sure you stay all the way through this one because the best part does not come early. It builds, and when it hits, it really hits. Also, I always love knowing where my viewers are tuning in from. Drop your city or country in the comments right now. It genuinely means a lot seeing how far this community reaches. Alright, let us get into it.
Boom, like that's where my head when I hear the word man. But I want to learn, actually, Jesse, how to not do that and go a little bit deeper when you were able to ask, so I could answer that
That's
question.
right.
So,
So when you hear the word man, you automatically think of penis and balls?
Absolutely.
Are you joking?
No.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not.
You're not lying to me now?
I'm not. And I don't know why I'm so this energy.
Yeah.
But, there's therapy and there's counseling out there to help with that. But I always thought that was the definition of a man. This is something I've admitted it, but in secret.
Right.
I took my own virginity.
You took your own virginity?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
I am not going to say that, but let's just say it's safe to say, I had all these feelings and emotions that I couldn't explain. They were just running through my body in this, region right here. And I just got to experimenting at a very young age. And, poof, there it is. I took my own virginity.
And did you do it more after that?
Of course. I'm an advocate. I think, masturbation has gotten me through a lot of time in these years, and when I was a kid and everything too. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I used to masturbate. It's so funny that we always talk about guys and boys wanting to masturbate,
Right.
but women, we need a release as well.
But it's not normal for a woman to do that, right?
Oh, I'm like a man inside.
Oh, okay.
I have a man-sized sex drive.
Oh.
I'm very aware of my body, and I don't feel like there should be, I don't discriminate, and I don't think that women should feel like they can't express themselves sexually. But that has happened so much in the past where a woman, we have these feelings and we think we have to suppress them because
Right.
if we don't, now we're going to be labeled. You know what I mean? But I've never cared what anybody had to say about me. I only go around the bend one time. I want to have fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so how many times a day do you need to have sex?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I've had so much great sex in my younger day.
Right.
Like right now, I'm good. It's been weeks.
Since you have sex?
Yeah.
Since you had sex?
Uh-huh.
How are you surviving?
Off of good memories.
Okay. What's a woman, besides body part, what's a real woman?
Oh my gosh, a real woman to me is a caregiver. I've grown up in my family with an amazing caregiver, which was my grandmother, and then my mom as well. So just very nurturing, very caring, very loving, just always checking to make sure you're good.
Right.
I think that's a real woman, just throw your arms around someone and make sure they're okay that day.
Amazing. And did you grow up with your father too?
This part of the conversation is where it gets real, because the moment Jesse started pressing Tiffany on what a man means to her, something unexpected happened. Tiffany was completely honest, no filter, no performance, and Jesse clearly did not expect that level of openness. When Jesse tried to use that honesty against her, suggesting she needs therapy for how she thinks about men, Tiffany did not flinch. She said this, "I always thought that was the definition of a man. Simple, unbothered. And that is a woman who knows exactly who she is." Then comes the virginity moment. And you have to understand something here. This is not just surprising TV content. This is a woman being honest about something that so many people experience but never talk about out loud. Human curiosity about the body starts early. That is not strange. What is strange is how much shame society still packs around it. Tiffany said this, "Masturbation has gotten me through a lot of time in these years." And Jesse's response? He literally asked if it was normal for a woman to do that. Right there. That question tells you everything. Because that same question has been used for a very long time to make women feel broken for having the same natural feelings that men have always been celebrated for. Here is something worth knowing. For most of the 20th century, female sexuality was treated as a condition that needed to be managed. Women were genuinely diagnosed and institutionalized for expressing desire. That history did not vanish. It just got quieter. And Jesse walked it right back into that room without even realizing it. But Tiffany moved through it like it was nothing. Because for her, it was nothing. She said women should not have to suppress themselves out of fear of being labeled. That is not a radical idea, that is just accurate. And the fact that it still sounds bold in certain spaces tells you exactly how far we still have to go.
Oh, absolutely. My dad is definitely in my life.
Does he know what you're doing?
Like what? Like
All this, everything.
Yeah, he's very aware. My dad is very supportive.
Is he?
He plays the back, just like a dad is supposed
Right.
to. Just, daughter, if you're good, I'm good.
Do you feel embarrassed when you're around him a little bit?
About what, Charles?
No?
Hell no. No, I've always just had this way of just standing up and, like I said, HBIC, owning my shit.
Right
Like
on.
literally just like no apologies. If I accept myself, I think everybody else should. So no, child, I ain't embarrassed
Amazing.
about nothing.
That's amazing. So I wanted to ask this: when you go back home to family reunions or school reunions, what type of reaction do you get from your friends, from your
Yeah.
other family members, from the public?
Oh, I love
when
it.
you go home.
I love it. It's great, Jesse. I mean, they roll out the red carpet.
Oh.
Everybody wants to pay for everything and throw it on my tab. All that. You're like going to be the neighborhood sensation when you come back to
Right.
town, especially being from such a small town
Right.
as upstate New York.
Are there other women approaching you saying, "Hey, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. Teach me"? You get that type of reaction
Oh,
from women?
all the time.
And do you help them become that, or what do you tell them?
I literally give them the blueprint that I structured or fell into myself. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Own yourself. Don't let anybody walk all over you. Be very opinionated. Stay headstrong, and just fight to the death.
Yeah.
Like I tell everybody that.
A lot of black women say that it's difficult for them in America as a black woman. What is it like for you being a black woman in America?
I have to say this. Right now, I feel like the temperature in this country is just to get it while you can. And I think the thing to do is to try to be, as much as you can, colorblind.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is any opportunity that's given to anyone can be my opportunity as well.
That's
I don't
right.
always let my color come into play. I'm going to approach this as a black woman, or they better give me a chance. It's kind of like, what? Let me bring my best self. And that color is a part of who I am, but it's not going to either make or break me getting
That
the
is
opportunity.
so smart.
I think that's how I.
That's very, very
Yeah.
smart. What is the state of black women in America today? Have you paid attention to that? The
Well, I
state
mean,
of black women.
When Jesse asked Tiffany if she felt embarrassed around her father, I need you to catch what he was actually doing. He was searching for a crack, some signal that underneath all the confidence, there was hidden shame waiting to surface. And Tiffany shut that down immediately. She said this, "Hell no. No. Owning my... No apologies." And the way she delivered it was not defensive or loud. It was settled, like she made peace with herself a long time ago and nobody was going to reopen that conversation. Then it got even better. When women started approaching her asking how to become like her answer was not a brand pitch or a strategy session. It was 3 sentences. Be yourself. Own yourself. Don't let anybody walk all over you. That is the kind of advice that costs nothing and still hits harder than anything you could pay for. Now this is the part that genuinely blows my mind. When Jesse asked what it is like being a black woman in America, Tiffany said this, "I feel like the temperature in this country is just to get it while you can." She is not complaining. She is not asking for sympathy. She is saying, I see the landscape clearly and I am going to move through it with everything I have. And people do not realize how powerful that mindset actually is, because the easiest thing in the world is to let the weight of the environment become your permanent excuse. Tiffany refused to do that. She said her color is a part of who she is, but it is not going to make or break her getting an opportunity. Then she said this, I feel like the black woman in America is honestly the role model and the temperature of this country. And when you look at what black women have built, led, created, and carried across this country's entire history, that is not hype. That is just an honest observation.
I think that right now, I feel like sisters are taking over, and I love it. You know, they're all over the place. We're all over the place in so many different shades. On television, on social media. I mean, I feel like the black woman in America is honestly the role model and the temperature of this country.
But those type of women are bad for black men, because black men don't like women like that. They're out of control. They're, they feel that they're better than the men, and so a lot of black men don't know how to deal with women like that. What do you say?
Scared black boys don't know how to deal with strong black women. I'll put it like that, because the black man is not going to be able to shut up the black woman. We're always going to tell it how it should be told, and we're always going to remind him, I would say, of mother. And I think that runs a lot of men away because they don't want to feel like they're dating their mom.
Right.
But we just have this nurturing thing where we get on our man and we're going to tell him how it is, and they don't want to deal with that all the time. You know, like, who wants to be confronted with the truth, because the truth hurts.
Amazing. Do men pay you to be with them?
Are you asking me if I'm a high-class hoe? No. Oh, my gosh. You know, can I tell you, I feel like there's a little bit of hoe in all of us.
So you're a hoe?
Well, I don't like labels, but let's put it like this. If you're dating someone, or even if you're married to him, and let's say this woman sees this big, huge Chanel handbag online and she has to have it, but it's $7,500.
Right.
And she goes, you know what, when my husband comes home, I'm gonna make him a candlelit dinner and lobster and dessert, the whole shebang, because I want this purse.
Right.
Guess what that wife is? She's hoeing. So we're all hoes.
Oh, and then Jesse said it. Right after Tiffany just finished calling black women the role model and the temperature of this country, Jesse came in with this. Those type of women are bad for black men because black men don't like women like that. They're out of control, no build-up, no transition, just a direct swing at everything she had just said. Here is what makes this moment so significant. Jesse was not asking a question. He was delivering a verdict. He was telling a confident, successful black woman that her confidence itself is the problem, and he framed it as common knowledge, not personal opinion. But Tiffany did not even pause. She said this, scared black boys don't know how to deal with strong black women. I'll put it like that. That is the line. Because she did not attack black men as a group. She made one specific distinction. She said boys, not men, boys. And that single word completely shifted the energy of the entire room. She was saying, a man who is secure within himself is not threatened by a woman who knows her value. It is only insecurity that makes someone else's strength look like a threat to you. This matters beyond just this one conversation. When society consistently frames confident women as too much, out of control, or difficult to handle, what it is really communicating is that your confidence is only acceptable when it keeps other people comfortable. That has been the unwritten rule for a long time, not just in one community, everywhere. Tiffany then said something that landed harder than any direct comeback could. She said, who wants to be confronted with the truth? Because the truth hurts. Nah, she was not talking about herself at that point. She was talking about every person who has ever called a woman too much simply because she refused to make herself smaller. And then she closed the whole thing by saying, I feel like there's a little bit of hoe in all of us, taking Jesse's attempted label and immediately expanding it to include everyone. That is not recklessness. That is surgical. That is someone who is so comfortable in her own identity that no word you throw at her can stick. Tiffany walked through this entire conversation and did not let a single loaded question land without turning it completely around. And that is what genuine confidence looks like. Not performance, not aggression. Just someone fully at peace with who they are, and you either keep up or you fall behind. So what do you guys think of this? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.